What brings you to California, your favorite state?
It is this thing's falling. It is my favorite state in the union. You're doing such a great job here, by the way. No, I'm honored to be on the show. Thank you. And
you were just down at USC?
I was at USC yesterday, drew a big crowd.
By the way, I knew you were at USC early because my niece, she said, this crowd's crazy. And the only reason she said, she would have said it perhaps otherwise, but she knew you were coming on. The worst part though, Charlie, no BS, true story. Literally last night, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie gonna be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is the point.
You canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
But I know, but I appreciate that. I mean, it's the reason you're here because I think people need to understand your success, your influence, what you've been up to, and the fact that you're on these college campus tours. And to your point, man, you just open up. I mean, you're like, ask me anything.
Anything.
This has been a point of pride for you that you didn't do a 4-year degree. And
because I represent most of the country. Right. Is that actually still the majority of the country does not have a college degree. You guys have become so college credentialed and educated that you guys snobbishly look on the muscular class of this country, the people that kept things afloat and running during COVID. And the majority of the country didn't go to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Stanford, Caltech, or Cal Berkeley, right?
Thank you.
And look, I say it with some pride also because as an entrepreneur, I tried to build something, right? Not just seek a credential.
Love that. And there are 11 million folks, there are 11 million jobs out there. You make this point all the time.
Oh yeah, open jobs that don't require a college degree.
Do not require a college degree.
The value system that you leave on college campuses is high trust of institutions. So the biggest divide in America is not right versus left. It's whether or not you generally trust institutions or you don't trust institutions. And this has been largely inverted the last 20 years. So the right is now low trust of institutions, where the left is high trust of institutions. We're the ones that challenge the COVID vaccine. We're the ones that think that public health authorities might have lied to us during COVID. Right. We're the ones that don't necessarily believe the government when it says that we should keep on sending money to Ukraine. Again, that's a general rule. There are some exceptions to that.
Are you arguing for the disestablishment, the end of higher education?
I think it's going to happen no matter what. I mean, and in 10 years, artificial intelligence is going to change everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know what these 4-year degrees are actually doing to prepare these kids for that. But no, as far as like, am I advocating for the end of the pursuit of learning? Of course not. That's one of my big critiques is that at a lot of these schools, they're not pursuing what is good, true, and beautiful. It's become the oppression Olympics and a weaponized complaint seminar of people sitting in the circle and finding out who's been offended the most that day. That's not doing anybody any good.
No.
And in fact, it creates a very weak political movement. Once there's a little opposition against a group of people that have never actually been, had to build the muscle mass of a very difficult and unpredictable world. Whereas those of us that are conservatives, we're insulted all the time. So think about the experience of a kid on a college campus. They say they're graded differently because of their views. They may or may not be right. I think they are. But they're definitely in the ideological minority. So you have two choices. You can either stop fighting for what you believe in, or you become really tough.
Yeah.
And you create that muscle that allows you to then carry and shoulder a heavier burden.
Right. And so just, and I don't want to belabor the issues of the establishment plot called higher education, as some have, not you, referred to it, though maybe you align yourself.
I wrote a whole book called The College Scam.
So it's sort of stress testing that in the context of, some would argue, the contra argument is, $1 million more in lifetime earnings, more likely to get married, less likely to get divorced, more likely to be civically engaged, and longer life spans with college degrees. And you would say
all of those is true. It's just not everyone that goes to college graduates. The national graduation rate.
41% drop.
Yeah, 41% dropout. Exactly right. Also, half the kids that graduate college will not even end up using their degree.
That's true.
When it comes to the affiliated jobs. So the numbers are true at the highest income. So about 10% of kids that go to college stretch out the averages to be really, really high.
Got it.
And so, for example, you go to Caltech to study computer engineering and applied AI.
Next level.
You're crushing it, right? You go to Cal to go study North African lesbian poetry.
Yeah. Is that an actual degree there?
You tell me, Governor.
I don't know. I mean, we funded, but I'm not sure that's one of the courses.
See, the fact you don't know?
Well, I don't know every single damn course.
I know. It should be like, no way! But if the fact it's a maybe, we got some problems.
Well, the fact that, a lot of people have explored different disciplines.
That's fine. It's just the taxpayer shouldn't have to fund it.
Well, yeah, I mean, increasingly, the individuals are funding, as you know, as it relates to talk about the inversion of how we fund education. I'm not as far off on this as you are. That said, I've got to admire what you've been able to do, not to weaponize, but to organize on these college campuses a different point of view. And again, let's talk about some of that. When you go to these college campuses, I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. And clearly that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, I actually...
He's coming to a Turning Point event this summer, Tampa, Florida, Student Action Summit.